Hi guys, in this video we're going to be making some simple gingerbread men cake toppers. We are going to be making them using some saracino modeling paste. And you might have seen these being made over on the Saracino stand at Cake International. Don't worry if you missed out and you didn't get a chance to get involved and make your own, because you can do that now by watching this video. So I'm using the Saracino modeling paste for this. You do want to give it a really good knead so it becomes really nice and pliable before you work with it. And I'm using a mix of brown and orange together for this particular colour. And I'm going to start with the body, and I'm going to take 35 grams of the modeling paste. Now modeling paste is a little bit better to use in that it's nice and firm, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with. But if you prefer, you can use fondant with some CMC or Tylose if you like. My personal preference is modeling paste because it makes my life a bit easier. So we're going to start with the body, and we're keeping it simple, so I'm going to go for a nice teardrop shape. So you want it nice and pointy at the top, and I've flattened sort of the bottom wider end so that it stands up. And the pointy bit, the head is going to slot onto, so you can make these figures without actually adding any sort of internal supports. Usually I end up putting internal supports in just for extra safety, but it's nice to be able to eat them if they haven't got anything in them internally. Okay, so for the head, I've actually got 70 grams, so it's quite a large amount for the head. I've squashed it down, so it's a little ball that we've squashed a little bit flatter, and I'm actually going to push a hole into the bottom of the head. So I'm just using this, I don't even know if it's called a cone tool. I'm not sure. I'll find out and I'll put it below the video so you guys know what tool it is. I'm just going to keep it in there while I put the eye sockets in, just because I'm going to squash that hole closed if I'm not careful. So I'm using a large balling tool. This one is a Cerate one, but you can use whichever one you like. And I'm just going to push in some eye sockets. I'm going quite big with these eye sockets. You can go smaller if you prefer. If you want to give them a bit more shape, you can kind of make them a bit teardrop shaped by just pushing in the inner corner of each eye a little bit. Or you can leave them round if you prefer. A nice simple little line for the mouth. Just using the pointier end of my Dresden tool for this. So next we're going to fill the eyes. Now if you want them to have closed eyes, you can use the same colour as you've used for your gingerbread man or gingerbread lady. If you want open eyes, you can swap this for some white modelling paste. So I'm going to roll these into some balls. Now the amount of paste you're going to need for this is going to depend on the size of that eye socket that you created. If you've gone for a teardrop eye socket, then roll that ball to fill the space with a teardrop shape rather than just a ball. And we're gently pressing that in there. You might want some water or glue to stick it in place. I find that often it stays on its own. I'm just going to add some little curved lines on there where I want to put the little eyelash line. So this one's having closed eyes. And we're going to use some pink dust just to enhance the cheeks a bit, give it some rosy cheeks. So just use a small fluffy brush for this, nothing too pointy if you're wanting to add blusher. And that powder's going on dry, so my brush is completely dry. Next for the eyelashes, we're going to take some tiny pieces of black. I'm using modeling paste. So I'm going to roll it so it's nice and pointy at each end. I'm going to roll it so it's probably about the same length as that line I've drawn across the eye. I'm just placing that. I have put a tiny bit of water, so I've brushed the water on that line first before I popped the black onto that. And then we can take that cone tool out. Okay, so you might want to do your faces differently. Let's try one with a more open mouth. So I've just used the wider end of the Dresden tool to just press in there, and you can pull it down to open it up a little bit. And I'm going to fill that with a little semicircle of black modelling paste. So again, I'm just using the Saracino modelling paste here. Give him a tiny, tiny tongue. So a little oval of pink. And we'll just pull down on the top of that a little bit with a tool. So it's kind of like a kidney bean shape. So because this one's got open eyes, we're going to fill those eye sockets with white paste. I changed one because one was a bit big, one was a bit small. Try and get them as even as you can. And then what I've done is rolled 2 ovals of black modelling paste, and I've kind of pressed them flat with my finger. If you've got an oval shaped cutter, you can absolutely use a cutter for that instead if you prefer. And we're going to put eyelashes on again. So we've rolled them out in the same way as we did on the other one, but with this one we're attaching them across the top of the open eye. And then we'll just add a small ball of white for like the highlight, where the light looks like it's kind of catching in the eyes. If you can go smaller still, you can go a little bit smaller with an even smaller one just underneath there. Now, if you prefer, you can paint the white on rather than sticking it on, or you can use a white edible pen. It's entirely up to you guys, whichever you find easier. Okay, so let's give them a little bit of decoration. So I've got some white modeling paste that we're just going to roll into like a snake shape. Just check your body is firm enough as well to insert that head. So can you see that has inserted quite well onto that kind of cone shape? I'm just going to take the head off for a minute while I decorate the body. So we're just going to put some little buttons on the front. Again, I'm just using the pre-coloured Saracino modelling paste. I think I've got the Tiffany and the fuchsia one. And then let's put some water on the head where we want to stick these white pieces. So I'm just going to zigzag them. So these have got to look like the icing that kind of is piped onto a gingerbread cookie. Just going to fasten that together at the back there. Okay, maybe go for a different shape on this one. So go for a little icing swirl. And you can play around a lot with these guys. I think maybe a bow for this one as well would look quite nice. So we're going to use some of the purple and kind of press it into triangles, and then sort of press a little bit in with your Dresden so you get a little dip in each end. We'll push those together with a little ball in the middle for a bow. I'm just going to press that onto the head. Now you can add some edible glue or water into the inside of the head so it sticks onto that cone body. There you go. So nice and simple. If you find that your body's moving around, leave it a little bit longer to dry, or you can insert a wooden skewer or a cocktail stick. Just make sure it's something that is food safe. You're putting it in there just for extra support, but you don't have to. If that body is firm, you can get away without adding the cocktail stick in these. Let's just give this one some buttons. And let's give this one a bow tie. So I'm doing the same thing, 2 little triangles. I'm just going a bit smaller with this one. Can you see how I press in with the Dresden tool? We're going to start by adding the ball in the middle, and then we're going to just press the 2 triangles on each side for the bow tie. And you can even try making one with one eye closed, one open, so a little bit of a winking gingerbread man or woman. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I'd love to see what you create from the video. Hopefully you find this one nice and easy to follow. And a big thank you to everybody that came and made them over on the Saracino stand at Cake International. So there you are, guys, all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I hope you give the Saracino modelling paste a try. Those of you that watch my videos regularly will know that this is usually the paste that I use for making most of my toppers. So I'm very used to using this one. Obviously you guys can use whichever paste you want, but I would highly recommend this one definitely for giving your little toppers a bit of a go. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel too, including the frogs that we made at Cake International as well. See you next time.